Turn you with me to Romans chapter 5. As a pastor, I know I'm sitting down. So even if we may not record this, or if I might be distorted because somebody's here, I edit that out the video. But it's okay. Not you, but I'm talking about something.
No, but I moved over.
No,
You're fine.
But
But then he's your brother.
that's why I know I can joke like that, because she is my sister. Exactly. Please come on in. Come on in. So we'll be going to Romans, verse 5, or chapter 5, excuse me, verse 8. Say amen when you have it.
Amen.
Amen. It says, and let me start at verse 6, and I'll go down to verse 8. It says, for while we were still weak, at the right time, Christ died for the ungodly. For one will scarcely die for a righteous person, though perhaps for a good person, one would dare even to die. But God shows His love for us. And when it says that God showed His love for us, that's talking about you and me. That's talking about everyone in the world. It says that God showed His love for us. Since therefore we have now been justified, God showed His love for us in that while we were still sinners,
Amen.
Christ died for us. What's amazing about that is that Christ didn't wait until we got ourselves together in order for Him to die for our sins. God didn't say, let me wait till you get it together and you got all this stuff straight in your life and then I'll lay down my life for somebody. He said, no, I want to lay down my life for you because you're so messed up. I want to lay down my life with you because you get angry at people unwittingly. I want to lay down my life for you because sometimes you lie about things that shouldn't be lied about. I want to lay down my life for you because you are not a perfect person, but you need somebody to love you even when you're down.
Amen.
And it's crazy that too many times everybody in the world only wants to love us when we're high. My wife loves to love me when I take out the trash and do the things that she wants me to do. But what God says, it doesn't matter still if you failed today, I'm still going to love you. It doesn't matter still if you messed up yesterday, I'm still going to love you. It doesn't matter, Daisha, what you've done in your past, I'm still going to love you. As a matter of fact, to prove that I love you so much, I'm going to die for all of your sins.
Amen.
For some people, that's nothing. That means nothing. But for us, as people who have given our lives, for people that are here in church, you have to know that your sins are the most disgusting part about you.
Amen.
Some of us look at our sins and we say, no, it's no big deal. It's nothing. But when God looks at our sins, He looks at it as the most grotesque thing that anybody can ever have. It's the wart on the nose. It's the hair that's messed up. It's the clothes that are wrinkled and unshoveled. God looks at that, and instead of turning you away, which most of us do on a daily basis, God says, I don't care what you look like. Let me love you still.
Amen.
Has anybody felt God's love before? Has anybody felt comforted by God's love? I mean, no, I'm not talking about just saying, God loves me. No, I'm talking about have you really looked into the mirror of your life and realized and determined, I'm not worthy of the love of some God who is perfect and blameless. I'm not worthy of a God who could do anything at any time, who's capable of doing everything at one time, but still, He took time out of His divine schedule to die on the cross, not for just anybody, but die for me, so that I can have new life.
Amen.
Has anybody felt that? Has anybody come to terms with that reality? Because that is the reality of our salvation. That is the reality of the gospel. And when you come to grasp how you are a sinner and how your form and your sin in you makes you detestable, but still God loves you, that should elicit a response from you.
Amen.
But what type of response? Right now, the type of response that you're showing me, the type of response that you're giving me, as people who have said they've come to times with this, is just like this. Is that the response you give God on a daily basis?
Amen.
If it is, it's probably because you aren't coming into grasp about the nakedness in which you should be presenting yourself to God. You're probably still hiding under the clothes, hiding under the fig leaves, hiding in the bushes of your doubt, of your own convenience, of your own rationale. You're probably still saying, God, I know I messed up, but it's not that big deal. So you know what? I know what you did, God, but, it's all whatever.
Lord have mercy.
You're still not saying nothing. You still not are communicating with me that you understand that God took himself, God who is God, talk to God, then all three gods decided together that they were going to get down off their heavenly throne and come down to earth as God. And then God told God that God was going to get up on the cross, and God took God on God, and then they went on to the cross and bore all of your sins, and then God said to God, I'm well done your pleas, and then God went to God who went down to the grave, and then God pulled God up by God's spirit, and then God said, because you are in me, I'm going to die for you.
Amen.
What is your response?
Amen.
Your response should be unadulterated, lavish, unabashful, unashamed, unapologetic praise for God.
Amen.
That should be your response. Your response should never be, oh, that's whatever, God. Oh, that's just whatever. I read about it in the Bible. No, you should be off of your feet saying, thank you, God, because he didn't have to do it. Nothing in God said that he had to do that for you, but God said, I see someone in need of love. Let me do it. Let me do it. And all God is saying, all I need from you is your worship and praise.
Amen. Amen.
But instead of giving our worship and praise to God, we'll give our worship and praise to everything else. You'll go on Facebook, praise people. Oh, these are great shoes you're wearing today. You'll praise anybody for anything. Oh my God, this is such a good comment. You have no problem praising everybody else. Going out of your comfort zone, pulling up the Facebook app, logging into the Facebook app, going back to your phone because you forgot the password for your Facebook app, then logging back into your Facebook app, then going in, finding somebody to say something on your timeline, then thinking, what should I write? Because I don't want to write anything that's going to be embarrassing to me 10 years from now. So let me really think about what I'm going to write. Then you write it and say, oh yeah, that's a good post. Then you don't even, you still haven't submitted it. You then have to say, let me submit it. Also that you can show somebody praise that means nothing to you and that has done nothing for you, but a God who does everything for you every day. You have a problem with lifting up your voice and saying, thank you, Jesus.
Amen. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
You have no problem going to a concert, paying $35, $65, going to a concert and just flipping out over people. Has anybody ever heard of a guy named Michael Jackson? You vaguely heard of him. Do you know that people love Michael Jackson? Oh my gosh. I almost got into a fight with the memory of Michael Jackson because my wife loved him so much. I almost had to fight Michael Jackson's memory. But people love Michael Jackson. And you want to know what separates people who love Michael Jackson from most people who come to church, and some of us even here, including myself, is that people don't have a problem getting wild and buck crazy worshiping Michael Jackson.
Amen.
People will cry over Michael Jackson. They'll let the tears fall for Michael Jackson. They'll fall all over themselves for Michael Jackson. Let me show you a video if you don't believe me. Look at this video. Look at this video of how people get buck wild for Michael Jackson. If the video plays for us. It don't look like it will, but let me see if it came through. If not, you'll just have to take my word for it. Let's give it a time. Because what this video shows, and what's really interesting about the video, is that it shows people lined up across barricades, just wanting to touch Michael Jackson. Lord, if they could just get a finger on Michael Jackson, it'd be like touching the hem of the Lord's garment. They just want to touch Michael Jackson. Let alone if they can't touch Michael Jackson, just let me see the man so that I can worship him. And the problem is, you wake up every day. I'm not talking about you specifically, I'm talking about me too. We wake up every day not even wanting to get closer to God.
Amen.
But yet, Michael Jackson didn't die for your sins.
Amen.
Michael Jackson didn't say, let me make this music for you because you're ugly. No, he said, let me make this music because I want to make money, so I'm going to distribute the music. But God said, everything that I do it for you, and yet we can't lift up our voices or clap our hands and give him some praise.
Amen.
We still are too calm, too kept together. What I'm saying is, how can you keep it together when a man died on the cross so that you can have life eternal? But yet, Lord, let me be riding down the car being listening to I 103. I do it sometimes, and I'm listening, and Lord knows Drake's God Flynn come on. Oh Lord, this is my jam, God. I be almost crashing in the lanes. I be jamming so God's Flynn, you be jamming. Maybe your station ain't that. Maybe you like 107.3. Maybe I need to hear some Temptation. My girl. And you just be going everywhere. Yeah, Lord, this is my song. Thank you. We got the audacity to thank God. Say, God, thank you for playing my song. Yeah. But yet, when you come to church, this is how you sit.
Yeah. Amen.
I don't see nobody crashing into nobody. I don't see nobody connecting. Why is that we got God for our sins, and all he's saying to you is, can you show me a little appreciation?
Amen.
Can you show me a little bit of worship? You wonder why the worship experience is dead? It's because you ain't worship. You want to know why people ain't jumping up out the stand? You want to know why people ain't clapping around you? You want to know why people are coming into church and saying, you know what? There's nothing going on in this church. It's because you have not made a personal connection with God and what he's done for you to lift up your hands. Because when you do, you can be in a desert with nobody around you, and you'll say, I'm going to thank the Lord. I'm going to thank the Lord. I'm going to praise him. It don't matter if you praise him, because I'm going to praise him, because I know how good he is to me. I know when the bill was due, and I didn't have no money, but somehow I checked the mail, and it was a check in the mail, and I said, Lord, thank you, God, because I got something to pay the bill. I know when the jaw was busted, and the wire was in the mouth, and I was thinking to God, how can I go on? God said, it's okay, because I love you. Just go to school and be all right. That's how I can smile. That's how I can say thank you, God. I know when I was going through the phone late at night, and I saw that brother's number in the phone, and I said, Lord, what's going on? Please help me. And he said, don't worry about it. That's just her cousin. I said, thank you, God. I said, thank you, God. You understand? He saves us. He worships us. You was 5 months ago talking about, Lord, send me a good man. Lord, send me a good man. He has sent you a great man, a great husband, a great lover, and now all you can do for God is just be like, no, when you say this, can you get up and give me some praise? Can you show me happy for me? You were thinking to yourself, Lord, I've been going to the hospital every day. And the truth is, you still going to the hospital, but God said, I haven't placed the input on your life. Can you give me some praise? Am I worth it to you? Am I worth it to you? God is looking for radical, unashamed praise. And it don't matter if you have one church in Christ with one person in one chair and everybody else ain't here. The question is, will you get hyped for God? Will you lift up your voice for God? Will you say, God, I know I could not be here today if it was not for your grace and mercy, Lord. Because if it was up to me, God, I should have died yesterday. Because the things I just was thinking yesterday, I didn't even do it. But Lord, if you can judge my thoughts, what you do, you would know, Lord, I don't even deserve to be here. Because yesterday, I was thinking about killing this person, Lord. Yesterday, I was thinking about taking this thing, Lord. Yesterday, I was thinking about cursing this person out yesterday, Lord. And God, somehow you look down and you dig down into your grace and mercy, and you said, that's okay. Because today ain't gotta be like tomorrow. Because I want you to love me.
Amen.
Because I love you so much.
Yeah. Amen.
Is anybody, have you gone through anything in your life that God has pulled you out? Say amen.
Amen.
Have you gone through anything in your life that God has pulled you out from, that God has saved you from? Say amen. Say hallelujah. Say hallelujah. Say hallelujah. Say hallelujah. Say hallelujah. loves you so much.
Amen.
He said he's worth it.
Amen.
He's worth it. He said it's time to get praised. He said it's time to get praised. He said, I don't care who's at your church anymore. He says, I don't care who shows up, who don't show up. I don't care who broke into your car last night. I don't care how hard it was for you to get up. I don't care what's going on in your life, because no matter what happened to you, it's not as good as I've been to you, and I'm getting to you right now by letting you live. So get up and praise me. Get up and praise me. Get up and say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Thank you.
Be unashamed with it. Be bold with it. Be somebody that people talk about and say, Lord have mercy, Sister Johnson, she sure could praise herself all around that church. But you know what? Sister Johnson, wherever she is, she ain't letting you stop her praise.
Amen.
Because you ain't saved her.
Amen.
You can't judge her praise because you didn't do nothing for her. But she knows the one who did, and because she did, she's ready to give it up to God.
All right, praise the name.
She's ready to give it up to God. Now is your opportunity to praise God. Now is your opportunity to clap your hands, to sing to God, to sing to God. Let's everybody stand up.
Amen. Amen.
Everybody, please stand up. Let's see. Oh.
You are good, and your mercy endures forever. Say it again, you are good, and your mercy endures forever. Come on, let's put your hands and shout if you believe in God.
All you gotta do is when you get scared about worshiping, is just think about how good God's been to you. If you need to move some chairs around, the ones are on the screen, let's praise God. Come on, church. Because everything you want to do. feel like being good to you today. He never says that. He says today when I'm tired, I'm going to be good to you. He says today when I'm drowsy, I'm going to be good to you. He says today when I'm sleepy, I'm going to be good to you because I got to be good to you all the time. Today's service is all about worship.
Amen.
So if you didn't come to worship, if you didn't come to learn about worship, you're in the wrong place because we're here to worship. I don't care if you have the fun food today, because today you have permission not from me but from the Holy Creator to praise Him with all you got. To praise Him on a good trade. To praise Him so that you offend the person next to you. Because they're saying, why you gotta act like that? And you say, why I gotta act like that? Because God's already done all of that. So I'm gonna give it back to Him. The scriptures that we'll be starting with today come from Revelations 4:11, where it says, you are worthy, our Lord and God. He says you are worthy. If you don't know what worthy is, just look at this. Worthy is worth E. He's worth it. Okay? That's what worthy is. It says he's worth it, which means that there's a value placed on him. Which means when you say God is worthy, you're saying, God, you're worth everything that I have. God, you're worth everything that you created. You're saying, God, you are worth of everything. It says, God, you are worthy of our Lord and God to receive glory and honor. Glory means you have weight, you have capacity, Lord, in my life. I give you that because of your work, Lord. And it says you're great of honor, you're worthy of honor and power for you. It didn't say for Sylvester. It didn't say for Como. It didn't say for the mayor of Kansas City. It didn't say for Michael Jackson. It didn't say for the Chiefs, which we have no problem praising with everything. People get paid in faces. It didn't say for the Chiefs. It said because you, God, created all things. All things He created. He created this, He created that. And by your will, they were created and have their being. If you didn't know why to praise God, you could just read that and say, God, I know why I'm praising you today, because I couldn't even stand in the shoes I'm in without you having to be a part of it. I couldn't even stand on the earth without you forming it, Lord. I couldn't even stand on the floor of the church if you didn't ordain it, Lord, because through you everything works. And because of that, in Psalms 150 verse 6, it says, let everything that have breath is God. Praise the Lord. Just breathe and praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Let us go to God in prayer. Let us go to God in prayer. Pray to God, we come to you today, Lord. We're emptying it out today, Lord. We're giving it all to you today, Lord. We're giving it everything to you. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun today, Lord. We're going to learn about you, Lord. And at the end of it, we're going to praise you today, Lord. You're going to get some praise today, Lord. The walls of heaven is going to shake today from the praise that is going to be established in this church today, Lord. I ask, Lord, that you decrease me to the point where I don't exist in this world. I ask that you increase yourself. Increase your words, Lord. Because it is my job to help your people learn to live like you would have them to live. It is my job not to have them live like I want them to live, but have them live and do what you have for them, Lord. So I ask that your spirit, Lord, I ask that the sensitivity to your spirit be open and unlocked and unbound so that your children can get all of you today, Lord. We ask all of these things in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. You can take a seat.
Amen.
Today we're talking about worship. Worship is the subject of today. Worship. And I don't have to stand up to preach this because it's more of a teaching today. Worship, when we talk about it, the problem with most of us is that we're coming to church to worship. Well, first of all, let me stop there. Because a lot of us are coming to church because we think that's what we ought to do. A lot of us are saying our Christianity is based on us just showing up to church. And when you start to do that, you start to replace God and start to put yourself in the place of God and start to put this building in the place of God. Because then, you know what you say after that? When you just come to church because you think that's what you're supposed to do? You'll come to church, and when you leave church, you know what you'll do? You'll pat yourself on the back. You'll be like, oh, good for me. I went to church today. Oh, you be telling people, oh, you know what, at least I went to church today. So what, you went to church? The question is, you came to church, but did you worship God while you were in the place? Because you don't come to church just to come to church to check off a box on your spirituality. You come to church because you're ready to praise God like you haven't praised Him before in your life.
Amen.
Every time you come into the doors of any church, you should be ready to make a plum full of yourself in praise. You should be ready to let everybody know that your God is real. And you don't want people just to look at you. You want people to look at you and say, what is God doing in their life that's making them scream the way that they're screaming? What is God doing in their life to make them talk the way that they're talking? What is God doing in their life that's making them live the way that they're living? And all you say is, you just got to know Him for yourself.
Amen.
Because it's undescribable.
Well, that's it.
That should be your objective when you come to church, is to worship. Now understand that worship is not just a body thing. See, a lot of us, the music comes on, we clap our hands, we're moving our body. It's not enough. Because worship does not originate with your body.
Well,
How do I know this? Because you can be in the car moving your body to any note. God knows what kind of music.
Right,
And
that's
you move
right.
your body. You can be working with all kind of ill thoughts in your life, moving your body, flipping burgers, signing papers, punching keys into the keyboard. You're moving your body, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're worshiping.
Amen.
Now some people will say, well, okay, worship isn't with my body. Just because the music comes on and my feet tap, that doesn't mean it's worship. Well, maybe worship is with my mind. No, that's not where worship originates either. Because you can be clapping your body to the rhythm of the gospel song, but inside your mind, you're thinking about how that person over there's got better shoes than me, or how this person over here looks better than me. And your mind can be everywhere. So don't ever think just because you're connecting with your mind, that's enough. No. The origin of true worship starts in the spirit.
Amen.
The origin of true worship starts in your spirit. How do I know that? Everybody turn to the Gospel of John, chapter 4. Everybody turn to the Gospel of John, chapter 4. And we can go verse 24. Share with a neighbor if you don't have your Bible. John, the Gospel of John, chapter 4, verse 24. It says, God is what?
Spirit.
Okay, let me wait. Everybody's not there. Let's all get there together. Let's get there together. Let's get there together. And we really could start in 23 as well. Let's just start there. Yeah, St. John, okay? Right after Luke. Right after Luke, he baby. Alright, and we're going to chapter 4. Okay? And it reads in verse 23. Actually, I'm going to start in 21. Jesus said to her, this is the woman at the well, woman, believe me. I like how he get authoritative with her. He said, woman. I like that's what he said to his mama too. He said, watch out, mama. He said, woman, believe me, the hour is coming when neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship. See, the woman was talking about physical worship. She was saying where I put my body is where I worship. How I clap my hands is how I worship. How I speak is how I worship. I can't sing a lick, but I'm telling you I was worshiping because it ain't with my body that I worship. Look what he says here. He says, neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father, verse 22. You worship what you do not know.
Yeah.
We worship what we know, for salvation is from the Jews, verse 23. But the hour is coming. He says, the Jews have been worshiping. The Samaritans have been worshiping. But all of that ain't even good enough because it says the hour is coming, and now it is now here when true worshipers, everybody say true worshipers. True worshipers will worship the Father in what?
Spirit.
And in truth.
Amen.
It starts with the spirit first. Your spirit person has to begin the worship. And then once your spirit person begins the worship, then the next piece. Then the soul is the next piece. And then through that channel of worship, that's when your body gets into it. So it doesn't matter the words that are coming out your mouth if the spirit has not connected with God's spirit in order to make true worship. And the reason it says that it starts with the spirit is simple. In verse 24 it says, God
Is the Spirit.
is spirit.
Yes.
Because God is spirit, because check this out, they're worshiping right now up in heaven where nobody has physical bodies.
Yeah.
So why is that? Why are they worshiping? And because God is a spirit.
Yes.
That's why they're worshiping up in heaven, because God is a spirit, and those who are in the spiritual realm can worship him. And it says if you want to worship him right now on earth, you have that ability to do so. But first it says you have to do it in spirit and in truth. And what truth is, your worship has to be aligned with the Word of God.
Amen.
Simple. But it says that it starts with your spirit. So what I want you to know, the first point is worship is a spiritual discipline.
Amen.
If you don't approach worship as a spiritual discipline, and what I mean by that is something that is designed by your spirit, designed by God for your spirit to discipline the rest of your whole being. If you don't approach worship like that, you're missing the key of worship.
Well,
If you just don't think, well, worship is something I do when the gospel songs come on, you're missing the benefits and the joy of worship because it's designed to discipline your whole being when you worship. And we're going to go into that further. So that's the first point. Worship is spiritual discipline. Everybody say check.
check.
Okay, only say check if you got it. Say check.
Check.
All right, good. Second point. Worship, the foundation of worship is relationship. The foundation of worship is relationship. Understand this, that your ability to worship God starts with your relationship with God.
Well,
See, some of us, the reason we want to worship, some of us, we want to get to that point where we see other people worshiping. But the problem is you don't have any relationship with God outside of church. And because you don't have any relationship with God outside of church, there's no way that your worship can translate in the church because it starts with your spirit. So if you really want to begin to develop true worship with God, you have to begin developing a relationship through prayer, through reading of His Word. Because the more you know God, the more worship you have of Him. Just check this out. Anybody in your life, do you like your mom? You love your mom. Somebody asks you, name somebody that's influenced you in your life. Who would you say? Your mom, right? It's because you have a relationship with your mom. And the reason you can give her praise and give her honor and talk about people to her is because of how well you know her. We can't praise God if you truly don't know God. Because then what happens is you start to lift up your voice and start to praise and sing and do all of that. But the problem is you just start to mimic words on the screen. Because you have no relationship. And what God is saying, in order for the spiritual connection to take place, I first need you to know. I first need you to get to know me early in the morning. I first need you to get to know me late at night. I first need you to get to know me at your job when you're tired and you can't think anymore. I first need you to get to know me when everybody is making you mad. I need you to get to know me then. And then when you get to know me, you'll know how good I am and how I can show you everything. And then you won't have a problem with it. You won't have a problem getting out your seat. You won't have a problem raising up your hand. You won't have a problem. And I'm not saying that all worship has to be outward expression because it's a spirit thing. Understand that worship is a spirit thing, and because it's a spirit thing, let me just digress real quick. Because it's a spirit thing, don't ever think that your sex can determine how you worship.
well, amen.
Don't ever think that. Because we as people are spirits first. And because we are spirits before our sex, if you look at the word human, humus, which is the dirt of the land, man, which is the spirit, was placed in the humus. So what I'm saying is, don't let people judge your dirt.
Amen.
Don't let people judge your dirt. Because they'll try to judge your dirt and say, you can't lead me in worship today. You can't sing the song in front of me today. All because of what you look like. But say, no. Understand that you see the physical part of me. But understand the part that is leading me into worship is the spiritual part of me. So if you got a problem with how I sound, if you got a problem with how I look, shut your eyes and focus on my spirit. Because we came to play. Because spirit has no per se. So just know it's a spiritual thing. So that's the second thing. The foundation of worship is based on relationship. Worship is intimate. Worship is intimate. Understand that everybody in the Bible who begins to worship already has such an intimate relationship with God. Think about how David. Think about how intimate he was. God said, I love this man. God said He loved him on an intimate level. Think about when people are brought up in Revelations, as we'll see, how the people who are worshiping the loudest, the people who are worshiping without ceasing, the people who are around the throne of God. Why is that? Because relationship and intimacy is so important in your worship. If you think of God as just somebody you call on a 1-800 line, your worship will reflect that. Because it's based on your relationship. So that's the second point. The third point is right here. A worship is based on the worth you ascribe to God over anything and everything else in your life. So you can have a deep relationship with God. Some of us do have deep relationships with God. But the problem is that when you get ready to worship, if you don't stop associating everything you have with your own ability, with your own supporting yourself, if you don't do that, then you never really honor God and allow God to have the worth of the creator of everything. See, the problem is you'll get in the service, you'll get ready to worship, but then right when you get ready to worship, you'll be thinking, Lord, I gotta go pay my bills tomorrow.
Well,
Stop.
that's it.
Because the money to pay your bills ain't coming from you. It's God. So you should be thanking God for you having money. That gives you ammunition to worship. But if you start to think about yourself, it distracts your worship right there. You say, Lord, I want to worship you. Lord, I want to praise you. But then you say, you know what? My cousin always said that I'll be loud. What? You're putting your cousin's value of yourself or your cousin's opinion over yourself, over what you feel about God?
Well,
That's the problem. You get into worship and say, you know what? God, today I'm really feeling it. Something's going on this day, Lord, and I'm ready to give you everything. But you know what? Sister Woolidge, she always be giving me that eye when I start to say amen. Lord, no. People be commenting in the video section saying, who's that woman that be like, oh yes, Lord. Who's that woman? But then you start to place value on everything and everything else except for God. But if you really want to worship, you shouldn't be thinking about what anybody else has to say. You should just be thinking about, how does God find my praise? Is it acceptable? If it's acceptable to God, I don't care what you say. I don't care if you've been sitting here all service and then I'm getting so loud in your ear that you gotta be like, well, I gotta move on. Move! Because I came to worship God. I came to worship. So understand that's the third point. God is based on the worth you ascribe to God over any and everything else. Some of us don't understand. Do you know in Genesis 22 it says, the Lord is my provider.
yes.
If the Lord is your provider, if the Lord is the one that gives you everything, how do you not give him praise for that? Do you know in Psalms 54 it says, surely God is my help. The Lord is the one who sustains me. So God is the one who gives me everything, then God is the one who sustains me through everything. So if he sustains you through everything, why do you think it's your 401k that's helping you through? Why do you think it's your mama who gave you some money yesterday that's helping you through? God paid harder money to give you. You put it in her spirit, it's God who deserves it. God is the one that sustains you. In Psalms 56, it says the heavens proclaim his righteousness. For God is himself is judge. God is the one who judges you, not anyone else. It says that God is my shepherd.
Yes.
I shall not want. If God is your shepherd, he's going to lead you. Why do you ever give praise? Why did you ever think you could get here today on your own knowledge?
Yeah.
It's all God. And when you start to put the focus on God, you realize who God is. Because did you know God is a jealous God?
Yes, he is.
Some of us don't have that conception because jealousy, is one of those sins that we want to stay away from. But God is a jealous God.
That's right.
Turn to Exodus 20. Do you know what Exodus 20 is off the top of your head? It's the 10 Commandments. Understand that 10 Commandments is what we base our life off of. God in the 10 Commandments says he is a jealous God.
Yes.
In verse 2, it says, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. Excuse me. Verse 4, you shall not make yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth. You should not bow down to them or serve them. For I, the Lord your God, what does that say? Visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me. Some of you've been in church all your life and they've been talking about generational curses. Generational curses happen when people ascribe birth to things other than God. That is the start of a generational curse. So if you love God, now understand that things might be happening in your family that have been stuck in your family, but understand by the definition of this text, that's not a generational curse. Because if you love God and you give your life to God, then the curse has been broken over your family. But the problem is, some of us still have not, whether we say we love God, we come to church, all of that, you still have not given God your all. You're still creating idols over idols. And every time you create an idol, you're leaving room for generational curses. Because he said, if you're creating idols and worshiping idols, there's no way that you can love me the way that you need to love me. So you need to stop all of the idol worship.
Amen.
Some of us are saying, well, God, I don't have no totem poles, but you know the problem is, an idol can be anything.
Yeah.
The money you make on your job can be your idol. You can say, God, I know that you're good, but this money, dollar bill, yeah. More money. He said, that's the problem with you. Your money's your idol. That's what he told the young rich ruler. He said, you got all that stuff, give it up because you got an idol in your house. He said, tear down the idols, build up your love for me. What is that? The beginning of a new what? A new era. Lord have mercy. It's coming back. You got too many idols. You're bringing idols into church with you and wondering why you can't worship. What do I mean? Your idols is your earrings. Lord, you know, I want to get wild and I want to praise you, but you know the problem is these earrings be irritating. But I look too fine with them and take them off. Take them off. Don't let that hurt you. And he said, the moment you start letting that affect how you worship me, you're creating an idol in your life. Some of you can't see for nothing. They're your glasses. But I'm telling you, don't let your glasses stop your praise.
Amen.
If you need to sit right here on the table to see the screen, we'll let make it happen. Some of us, your pride. You know, matter of fact, let me pull back the curtain on a lot of the issues. Some of us, what's stopping your worship and what has become an idol in your life as far as your worship is the way that you've always been at your church back home. Or your church where you grew up at.
Right.
Some of us, you know, in my tradition, where I come from, the Episcopal Baptist church. Lord have mercy, you don't say anything when that preacher's speaking. All you say is, yeah. That's the problem. You're letting idols stop your worship. Because if it's truly a spirit-led discipline, then your spirit should be informing how you feel. Some of you, check this out, some of us are failing to live into the benefits that we have over our life because we're not following the Spirit and leading us in worship. What do I mean? The Spirit, you've been having issues walking all your life. The Spirit, out of nowhere, tells you, get up and praise me. But you're like, Lord, I can't. I'm scared to get up. But he said, get up and praise me. Show me how much you love me. Put your feet on the ground and stand up. But you say, Lord, no, I can't. I'm sick. I don't know. I can't do it. You stopping the blessings he has for you. Because he's trying to lead you in a direction. The Lord is telling you right now. He said, worship me. He says, right now, in the middle of the worship service. In the worship service, because his spirit ain't defined, and we'll get into that. I want to tell myself. But he said, right now, I want you to get up from where you're at and go hug somebody. But you say, Lord, I can't because everybody look at me different. The camera's wrong and I can't do that. He said, but you know what? If you would have got up and hugged that person and been led by my spirit the way you need to worship, that person would have given you $20 and that would have helped you get home tomorrow. I'm telling you, this is because it's a spirit thing. The Spirit is trying to lead you into how to worship, and the Spirit is trying to tell you, this is how I need to express myself. But you're letting your soul, your mind, and you're letting your body stop God's blessings from flowing in your life, all because you refuse to worship in spirit and in truth. That's truth. That is the truth. Just think about it. When Jesus healed people, he always asks, he said, what's your faith meter like?
Right.
He says, I can heal you. That's not a question. The question is, what is your faith meter like? Remember Laban, I think it's Laban, correct me if I'm wrong, Laban in the Old Testament. Remember when he went to the prophet, and the prophet was like, it might not be Laban, I can't think of the guy's name, but there's a guy in the Old Testament who wants to heal his body of his leprosy. And he goes to the prophet, and the prophet tells him, you know what, you need to wash yourself in Jerusalem. But he's like, you know what, what did he say? Oh, yeah. But he said, I can't, those waters are dirty.
Yeah.
He says, but you're missing the point.
That's it.
It ain't about might look like. It's about what the Spirit is telling you to do. So the fact that you are stopping yourself from worshiping me in spirit and truth, you're stopping yourself. But eventually the boy said, you know what, forget it. I just got to do what I got to do to get healed. And he got in there and he got healed immediately.
Right.
Changed his life. Your life is ready to be changed. And God wants to change your life every time you praise Him. If you want to praise Him the right way. If you want to praise Him the right way. God is a jealous God.
Yes, He is.
But understand this. Worship is a command. You're commanded to worship. You say, God, I love you. God, I want to do whatever you want me to do. God, I want to be nice. God, I spend all my time volunteering at the Goodwill. But He says, yeah, but I commanded you to worship. You don't believe me? Turn to Exodus 9. Go to Exodus 9. Exodus 9. I know I'm running over. So we're going to get this point and I'm going to close because I don't know, I just feel it. I don't want to leave today, but
Just
I don't want you to miss
Amen.
what God has for you. But go to Exodus 9. Go to Exodus 9. Thank God. Thank you. This is for the rag right here. Exodus 9. It said in verse 1. It says, then the Lord said to Moses, go into Pharaoh and say to him, thus says the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, let my people go.
Yes.
Why?
That they serve me.
Let them go so that they can serve. Let them go. And when Moses first went to Pharaoh, that was the command, and it was to worship him out in the wilderness. He says, my people need to worship me out in the wilderness.
Yes.
It's a command for you to worship.
Amen.
But not only is it a command for you to worship, it's also a prophecy for you to worship. What do I mean? At the end of time, when it's all said and done, on the new heaven and the new earth, we will be praising and worshiping God continually all the time without stop. And you won't feel any bad about it. But the problem is you'll get to the other side and feel so insecure because you didn't strive during the practice time.
Well.
You know Allen Iverson, when they asked him about practice, he said, practice? Practice? We talking about practice? But God said, yeah, if you don't practice, you won't be ready for the game. So right now in your life, God is giving you time on the earth to practice how to praise Him in your spirit. So that when your time comes, you'll be ready and excited to praise Him.
Amen.
In John 4, that's what we see. In Revelations 4, that's what we see. And I wanted to read the chapter, but I won't for right now. Just write that down. Revelations 4, read the whole chapter. And how the praise around the throne, the worship around the throne, how every creature is worshiping the throne. That's what we're called to do here. Now, I wanted to leave with this. There's some specific benefits to worshiping God. Some specific benefits that you may be missing out in your life. It is no longer, you should no longer be deprived of that. The first benefit is that there's power in worship.
Yes.
Everybody say power.
Power.
There's power in worship. Everybody say power.
Power.
In the name of Jesus, there is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus. To break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. To break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. There is power in the name of Jesus. Come on, you declare it. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power. There is power in the name of Jesus. We know where it is to break every chain, every chain, break every chain, break every chain.
Don't you know that worship strengthens us? It strengthens us. It strengthens us. Look at David. How when he had to face Goliath, how he worshiped. Look at all the Psalms that was written because David was going through trials, running from Saul, running from people, fighting in battles. But God, he didn't go away and hide. All he did was lift up his voice and he worshiped. And he worshiped because every time he worshiped, God was downloading power into his spirit. If you don't believe me, look at the walls of Jericho. And the walls of Jericho didn't fall because people was beating on the walls. The walls of Jericho didn't fall because people kicked the walls down. The walls of Jericho fell because there's power in worship and there's victory in worship. And God is saying there's victory that you need to have in your life that you can't have in your worship. Because every time you worship, walls start falling down. Every time that you worship, demons start disappearing. Every time that you worship, doors start going away. Every time that you worship, children are getting healed. Every time that you worship, families are coming together. Every time you worship, families are getting stronger. Every time you worship, your spirit is growing. He said, the reason is because you're not leaning onto yourself, but you're letting me take in charge of your life when you worship. He said every time you worship, he said every time the client tells you, I don't want to buy from you. Every time the business begins to fail, he said, don't worry about it. Just start worshiping. Because there's victory in the worship. There's victory in the worship. There's victory in the worship. Worship also reveals things.
Yes.
See, there's some things in your life that are shrouded in mystery. Your identity, your self-esteem. You've been wondering, why am I so low on myself? Why does everything everybody says to me, why does it get to me? It's because you haven't been worshiping. Because when you worship, it reveals things in your life. And when it begins to reveal things in your life, you start to get stronger. When you get stronger, you see what God is saying.
You are not a God.
your life. Because everything in your life doesn't deserve the worship that you have.
Right.
Everything your car, as much as you want to clean it out, do whatever it takes to make it good, it doesn't deserve your worship. God deserves your worship. And the moment you start giving God your worship, then it reflects on who you are. Because only the people who love God can worship God. So if you're able to connect with God with your spirit, then it shows and it reveals who you really are. And if you have the ability to come to God's throne and worship Him unashamed, what does that say about everyone who doubts you? That means that they don't know who you really are. If you can come to God and lift up your voice and have confidence that what you ask will be answered. When you knock, the door will be open. When you have that type of confidence, then it says that you're VIP, very important person to God. And God loves you. So it doesn't matter if the people around you are saying you're nothing and you're worthless. I don't know why you do that. You're clumsy. You're a fool. You say if I can worship God, if I can recognize who God is, then it automatically reveals who I am inside. So that's why you have to worship through the bad times. Because as you worship through the bad times, it reaffirms who you are all the time. Your inability to worship in the worst of times, it hinders your growth because then you start to believe everything the world's told you. You're worthy of great worship because of who you are in relationship to God.
Yes.
The last thing that worship, the benefit of worship, is that worship is also reflective.
Amen.
Worship gives you a perspective of, because worship, the essence of worship, is giving God worth and acknowledging who God is in your life.
Man.
As you start to worship through your spirit, then automatically the next step is your mind starts to go back to everything God has done for you. See, God, it wasn't promised for you to make it out of college. Don't you know those teachers was really out to get you? It wasn't promised for that business to make $2, let alone $100.
Well.
So you busy talking about, I ain't got millions. Yeah, but you got a lot that other people don't even know.
That's it. That's
See, it
it.
wasn't promised to have no kids. Don't you know it's people in the world that are barren and can't have any children? But God gave you the ability to bear children. And you talking about God, I'm worthless, God, I'm nothing. Even when you start to worship God and thank God for today and thank God for who He is, it starts to take you back over everything in your life.
Yes.
And He begins to clean
You
up.
don't need to worry about
Just wanna thank God for
With the bills and
many years have passed away. Thank God for the working whatever that was, that's what it is. All the good, silent and better. Much to God, and be proud. Most of all, thank God for today. Thank God for I get another chance to say, thank God for today. Never take the time to smell the roses. And say forever, before you feel like a party.
You was in the church all
Just like the friends you want to start and you want to start with me.
was in the church all
That's the Lord is made.
Sorry, your brother. Ain't no point of looking back from now on. That's what it is.
because he loves you. That's all you can do is just cry on your best day. Thank God, thank God, thank God. Just thank God, because He's God, thank God, because He's God, that's it. Thank God, because He's worthy of your power and worship. Thank God, that's all you want. Thank God, thank God, thank
Be honest right now with this moment. Is there anyone who don't feel good right now? Is there anyone who's been coming to this church day after day, year after year now, and you ain't felt as good as you feel right now? Lord have mercy, Lord. Lord, I just feel like I can run a mile right now. Oh, and it's because the last benefit is that God, He renews your spirit. You want to leave church every day and feel like $1,000, still want to worship. You want to be at your job and then get that second win when everybody else is after lunch getting the itis, falling asleep, and they're like, how is he doing? He said, because on my lunch break I ate a little bit, but I spent the rest of my 30 minutes praising God. Lord. It feels good. It feels good. In Psalm 95, verse 1 through 6, it says, oh come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Let us come into His presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise to Him with songs of praise. For the Lord is a great God, and a great King of all God. In His hands are the depths of the earth, and the heights of the mountain are His also. The sea is His, for He made it.
Yes, He did. Yes.
Amen. Amen. Was there anyone at this moment who needed prayer, who wanted to give their life to Christ? If you need prayer, you don't even need to stand. Just raise your hand and I'll call on you. It's not that type of situation today. Today is just about letting our spirit speak. So if you need to stand, stand up, stand up. But if you just, all you can bear to do right now is lift up your hands, and that's all the Spirit is convicting you, then just let that Spirit do His work today. Whatever the Spirit is loosening your mouth to speak about, whatever the Spirit is loosening your mouth and your heart to confess, or whatever the Spirit is loosening your mouth to ask for prayer for, let that lead you right now in this moment. Let the Spirit lead you. Was there anyone who needed prayer, Daisha? Just prayer in general. Amen. Pray.